Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN.
Start your morning right with Ironclad Coffee Roasters and Baking Company, the official coffee of Fitz the Bill and ESPN Richmond. They have fresh artisan pastries made from scratch daily in their own in-house bakeries to go along with some of the best coffee in RVA. 3 locations, one in Shockoe Bottom, one in the West End, and one in Lynchburg. Check them out too online at ironcladcoffee.com. Fitz the Bill is powered by Ironclad Coffee Roasters and Baking Company each and every morning.
Richmond, it's time to get your morning going.
We are going to wreak havoc.
Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick. All live from the capital of the Commonwealth, where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now, live from the capital of the Commonwealth, it's the Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Monday morning. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond and Fitz the Bill, streaming on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. If you want to watch the stream, as always, just type in ESPN Richmond and we will pop right on up. You can like, comment, subscribe, do all of that fun stuff. You can also follow along at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA on Instagram if you're ever wanting to see some behind the scenes stuff. If you ever want to see some of our takes that may not make the show, things of that sort, Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA. And it is a Monday morning. And as we do most Monday mornings, we've got to recap the 3 best things we saw over the weekend. Plus, coming up later in the show, Bennett Conlon will be stopping by from JMU Sports News to chat with us. He overslept on Thursday, so we rebooked him to today. So hopefully Bennett's alarm works up on this Monday morning. Plus, we've got our high school football 4-a-days. That's right. 4 previews today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. That takes us up to kickoff on Thursday. Thursday, we are heading down to Hopewell for the Highland Springs Hopewell game to kick off the 2026 804 high school football season. We've got an idea for where we're going Friday night. We still got to confirm that. Once we confirm that game, we will let you guys know. But Thursday night, we are kicking the season off at Hopewell as Hopewell hosts Highland Springs. Our 4-a-days today, Dinwiddie, Hanover, King William, and Henrico. That's coming up at about 9:30 in hour number 2. So the 3 best things we saw from the weekend, that was number 3.
Number 3,
the Braves win the Little League Classic. This is less so about the Braves winning. I'm sorry, Alan. I mean, good that the Braves won. Give them a round of applause. More so on the fact that the Little League Classic is just awesome. This is what it sounded like when the Braves won 4-2 over the Brewers.
Runners lead, Iglesias, the pitch, and Bowers, a half-swing comebacker, played on the front slope of the mound, bounce the throw to second, Dubon fields, throws to first, double play to end the game.
Wow, what a gold glove play by Dubon. Iglesias spiked that ball, and he picked it and still got the momentum to throw over to first base.
Good win for the Braves, Alan. Good win for them. And I love the Little League Classic, man. I think it is so cool. I love this and the Field of Dreams games. They are just the coolest.
Yeah, the Little League Classic is kind of cool for sure, especially when you see how excited the kids are. Kids and dogs are the best fans when it comes to baseball games because they have unlimited energy.
Yes.
I'm going to have to push back, though, on it being less about the Braves. Oh, it's definitely all about the Braves.
I knew it would. I knew you would come in with the Braves.
Yeah,
love, so I mean,
they're 3-7 in their last 10. They're playing arguably the best team in the NL, and the Phillies are only 3 games back. It's getting kind of hectic, but this is baseball, man. You know, people complain that the season's too long, but we always get this kind of drama down the stretch, and it's one of the reasons why I advocate for it just staying 162 games, leave it like it is, because I don't think we'll get that kind of drama in a shorter season, because this was one of those things where people thought the Braves were going to run off with it. And I was saying even in April and May, give it time.
You're just you've been hurt.
Summertime, man, is very strange. Phillies are 9-1 in their last 10. Braves are 3-7. I mean, it's literally every game right now is pressurized.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And you look back and you look to like the month of April, May, and you're like, man, if only we had won that series against insert bad team here. Oh, if only we had picked up one more game.
The anxiety
4 months ago.
The anxiety I had on that ground ball, because I hate. It doesn't even matter if it's my team or not. But when a team's up in the ninth and the closer comes out and the first guy gets on base, be it like just a goofy pitch or even a walk, it's always anxiety for me. So, and then Contreras came up and he almost hit it out. If it was in Milwaukee, I think they pointed it out. If this had been in Milwaukee, it would have been out. He crushed that thing, but it's a deeper, bigger ballpark where they were playing. So Michael Harris caught it. I was stressed out like it was October, and here we are, end of August.
About to be October, though. You're going to blink, it's going to be here. Funnily enough, if Aroldis Chapman was the closer for the Braves, I think you would not have any hair.
Oh, yeah.
The way you just explained the exact way Aroldis Chapman is a closer.
Yeah.
The dude comes out and he's like 4 straight balls, and then he's going to settle in, and then he's just going to throw gas.
He's got to get one over the plate. Watch
so
him
funny.
score so he can put you in that guy on second and third, no outs, and he strikes out the side.
Whenever I'd be watching Yankees games, and when Chapman was a Yankee, and you see him climb the bump, and you're like, all right, this is about to be the most insane 5 batters we're going to see. Either they're going to lose the game in the next 5 batters, or it's going to be the most edge of your seat action you've ever seen.
It's easily the most pressurized position in all of sports.
100%.
I don't think we give it enough credit. Like a closer in baseball, like it doesn't get any bigger than that. Like literally every game is on the line for you every time you go out on the mound.
The definition of your job is you only can quote unquote do your job when the game is in question. Yeah. You don't get to do your job. Now, you might send them out, but you're not doing your job if it's not in question. If you have a big lead and they're like, all right, go out there, you don't get credit for that.
Yeah, they always highlight, that's not a save situation.
This is not a safe situation. And you're like, hey, you're a closer. Hey, come on. I still gotta perform.
Thanks, man.
But Michael Harris had a good little home run there, insurance in the top of the ninth.
Michael Harris is making my friend out to be a prophet. He told me this was going to be a big year for him. So
yeah,
he's been doing good.
He 1 for 5 last night.
Hey, that one was what we needed.
I know. 294. He's got a 320 OBP. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a great season for him, but
it's great. It's great because he's coming in clutch when he does make that one hit.
You're not wrong. The funniest thing though is when they do these little league classics and they put Braves, Brewers, 2 of the best teams in baseball right now. Great stars on both sides. I do love it when they're like, all right, this year for the Little League Classic, we've got the White Sox and the Marlins.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, poor kids.
Also, how old am I, man? Matt Olson came up to bat, and his favorite player was Chipper Jones. Like, dude, that was my favorite player. Jeez, man.
Oh, that's how you know. That's like when this is going to make me sound old. I'm only 29. But like watching Hard Knocks, and the Seahawks players are like, yeah, man, I grew up watching Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman. Yeah. I mean, I can even throw it back to Sean Alexander. And I'm like, that was throwing it back to Sean Alexander? What do you mean?
That was my prime.
That was my guy. That's why. What are we doing?
I told you the other day, you're older than you think.
Yeah, and then you realize it when these young kids are like, oh, yeah, you mean Unk? And you're like, my favorite player growing up is not an Unk, but I guess he is.
That's funny.
The second best thing I saw from the weekend, Ryan Blaney got his 3rd win of the season, 20th career Cup Series win as he took home the checkered flag at New Hampshire.
Number 2.
When he sees the checkered flag, he will have led 115 laps this year. It'll be his 3rd win on the season, and back-to-back here in New Hampshire, Ryan Blaney victorious.
Good win for Ryan Blaney. Very good win for Ryan Blaney. We've been talking with Pat Jaggers of the Motor Racing Network like all season about how Ford had been struggling to start the year. And it's kind of the MO of Ford each and every season. They start super duper slow, but then they really start to catch fire as the season goes on. But for Ryan Blaney, he's sitting pretty in the championship point standings because he had a good start to the year while the rest of the Fords were all struggling. he was managing to find top 10, top 5 finishes. So he is sitting real nice heading into the chase. There's one more race remaining before we go into the chase for the Cup. Denny Hamlin with that New Hampshire race, he clinched the number 1 seed going into the chase. So Denny, he is set up well to do the thing he has never done before, and it still eludes him. And when we talk about greatest drivers of all time, this is something that is a massive, massive ding on Denny. He needs to win that championship. It is set up nicely. He was never able to get it done in the playoff system. He even raced back in the day when they still had the old chase system. They're back to that old chase system this year. Can he break through? I mean, that's the one big thing. That is the one big question surrounding NASCAR as we have one race remaining before the chase. We're at Daytona, then we're into the chase for the Cup. Denny is the 1 seed, but Ryan Blaney and Ford really starting to find momentum heading into the postseason.
Question: what happened to Bubba Wallace?
You looking at the standings and he's just faded?
He was top 3, maybe second when I left the house because we went to see the new Spider-Man.
Oh, how'd you like it?
I loved it.
It was good.
Yeah. So I was on a schedule, but I remember it was about 60 laps or so left. And Blaney and Bell were fighting for the top spot, and then Bell fell off, and I think Bubba did 4 tires or something like that, and he ended up in second. So I just assumed I'd see him in the top 10, but he's not even in the top 20.
No, he's second. Go up to second. Go up to second.
Oh, okay.
You just missed his name.
Yeah. You know why? Because it didn't say B Wallace. The D Wallace. When did he start going by his government?
Depending on which site you're using, they use different names.
Yeah, man. That's
Are you on
Bubba.
ESPN?
Yeah.
ESPN use what? Daryl or Darrell?
Yeah.
I don't know how he pronounces it because he goes by Bubba.
I would have never known that. His mama named him Bubba. We call him Bubba.
Blaney first, Bubba second, Josh Berry. Josh Berry has been, he's driving for the Wood Brothers, which is a Virginia-based team, one of the only teams not based in Charlotte. But I think Trackhouse might be based in Nashville, and that's the only other one. But Josh Berry, the Wood Brothers said, thanks for your service. We don't need you next year. You're done. Josh Berry, since that decision has been made, has been on an absolute heater. He finished really well at Richmond. He now finishes well at New Hampshire. I think over the last 5 races, he has 4 top 5s because right now he is racing for a job. And Josh Berry finishes 3rd. His come up this year, whatever it is, he's another Ford driver, has been really impressive. When he was in really, really good equipment, he was kind of Chase Elliott missed about a month of the season. I think that was in 2023. Josh Berry stepped in for him, and Josh Berry did really well. He's really hasn't been able to find a spot with a top tier team, but he's putting together a nice little resume these last couple of races. So Josh, that's just a fun story to kind of keep an eye on underneath the radar. Seabell was 4th and Larson was 5th. Gibbs, Hamlin, Reddick, Preece, and Gragson rounded out the top 10. Good showing for him. All right.
I was just going to complain. Don't ever call that boy by his first name again. Call him Bubba.
You're mad about that one.
Yeah.
Call him Bubba. And the number one thing we saw over the weekend.
Number 1.
This one's for you, Alan. Ruben Bain wreaked havoc in preseason.
Ruben, my T-Rex.
I've got to say, I was wrong.
I told y'all.
Hand up. That was my fault. Hand up. My bad. He's been everything as advertised. I overthought it. I overthought it.
Did you ever think that a T-Rex could do the hump? For people who don't know what the hump move is, Google Reggie White. Reginald White, man. He matter of fact, to this day, I think Larry Allen is still trying to get his balance back. He just used to throw people, man.
Yeah.
That's such a great, underrated move, especially for those quicker guys. I'm surprised Michael Parsons doesn't do it more because a lot of people want to beat you to the spot to get ready for the rush. And that's what happened. In fact, good funny thing about that clip I sent you, the guy he was going up against was also, I think, Indiana's tackle. So he played him in the national championship.
So he knew his,
So
his idiosyncrasy.
Yeah, this was the rematch. And it's just one play, but like he's been wreaking havoc, I believe, all preseason. So
he's been making some waves. So I just hand up. My bad.
It's
I think
all good,
I may
man.
have missed that one.
Let's
T-Rex.
film and measurements and things like that. We have to use the totality of the situation sometimes.
But if Ruben Bain, it's looking like he's going to be a productive rookie and a productive NFL player based off of what he's done in training camp and in preseason. He is going to be the outlier of all outliers. And good for the Bucs for taking the chance on him. I understand why a lot of football teams didn't want to take the chance on him because it's not often you're able to draft the outlier of all outliers. But if I'm not mistaken, Kalijah Cansey's also on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's another outlier of all outlier with really short arms at the defensive tackle spot. So maybe Tampa just knows something we don't.
Like I said, look at the technique. And you watch Ruben Bain, he's attacking elbows and wrists, things like that. That's very important for getting guys off balance, and he knows how to use leverage. He's also quick. There's a lot of things that goes into him. And honestly, Bailey's been doing fine. Arvell Reese, I think the only one people complained about so far is Sonny Boom Boom.
Yeah.
And then there's some film of Caleb Downs in like one-on-ones and stuff like that, but I'm not reading too much into that.
I'm also not reading too much into Sonny Styles, quote unquote, struggling.
See, I was having a conversation with a friend about that this weekend, and he called me out because Baldy did a breakdown on it, and he was very critical, and I'm a big Baldy guy.
Like,
so I was like, dang, well, I guess I disagree with Baldy.
But I mean, like, yeah, sure. Is he struggling in preseason?
Yeah.
Sure. Is he not going? Is this showing that he's going to be a failed draft pick? No, he's just a linebacker learning a complex defense. It's going to take some time.
And I pointed out there were several clips of Arvell Reese that people have been sharing that look just like Sonny. He's out of position too and getting blocked and boxed in, and nobody's calling him a bust, but I think it's just perception.
Remember Roquan Smith when he first got into the league with the Bears?
I was wrong about him. Yes,
he was terrible. He was terrible in the league. Then he goes to the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm not saying Sonny Styles already needs a change of scenery, but I'm saying sometimes it takes a year or two for a guy to figure out how to play middle linebacker in the NFL. And then when they do, Roquan Smith, one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL.
Ravens got him at a nice price.
Yeah, I think they gave like a third rounder for him.
And literally he peaked to his ceiling right after he got on that team. So
sometimes it just takes a little time. Linebacker's one of the more difficult positions to play in the NFL.
Commanders, your problem is you don't have a center. That's what you really need.
Yeah, they got a couple of problems.
That was an ugly preseason.
Yeah, it was a real bad preseason. That offensive line looking rough.
You don't got a center. Like you kind of need that. I know we gloss over O-line, and sometimes people say I talk too much about it, but you kind of need a center.
Who is their center?
I forgot who they tried to play Saturday, because I came in around like the second quarter and I went back and just watched a couple of the plays. And I was like, yikes, it just wasn't good. But I know the young man that they drafted late, he had a good first preseason game, but I think he struggled in the second preseason game. So they need to find somebody with experience. That's what they need to do.
Center, another position that is very hard to play in the NFL. You're doing a lot at the center position.
Yeah.
Good luck. But I'm not going to overreact to commit. I don't overreact to preseason. You like people right now. The overreactions are all around the Commanders and the Titans. The Titans, they're going to be the worst team in the NFL. All of this stuff. I'm not overreacting to any of it.
I didn't like the energy from the Titans yesterday, and I go back to the idea that you said that the Seahawks could win the division and you're high on them. Look at how that team played in that preseason game. You couldn't tell me that those guys on the field the entire time were not starters in their mind. Like they had good energy across the board.
And that burned them because two of their players may be out for the season. One of them being one of their rookies they drafted that they had high expectations for, and Bud Clark.
But you know
broke his ankle.
You know what? You set the tone and expectation that we're playing hard no matter what. And that's something that I did appreciate about John Harbaugh when he was in Baltimore.
Yeah.
We're going to play hard no matter. It's football. It's competitive.
Set the NFL record for most preseason wins in a row.
You couldn't tell the difference between starters and bench players, man.
And that's how you set a culture and set a tone. So we'll see if it plays out. I just don't think it'll play out. I think Commanders will still be good. And the Titans, I still got the Titans as a feisty team over there in the AFC South. 804-327-0888. The Radke Insurance phone line is open. Call, text in, head on over to radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today. We're going to get a break in, then we'll be back. We talked about it on Friday. We've got to continue talking about it here on Monday because it's almost official that we are getting an NFL back to college player And, of course, the Cleveland Browns have to do with it. The Cleveland Browns in the middle of it all. Although they are not to blame. It just feels fitting that the Cleveland Browns are right in the middle of it. Text in your thoughts, 804-327-0888 to the Radkey Insurance phone line.
Fitz the Bill, Richmond Sports Talk Show. Don't go far.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
This is advertising material.
When a motorcycle accident turns your world upside down, who's going to look out for your family while you're healing? Alexander Chenard Trial Attorneys is here for you, fighting for injured riders and getting families the compensation they deserve. The consultation is free. Call 877-222-6666 or visit alexwins.law. Don't wait, alexwins.law.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office is located in Norfolk.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
The Golix. The main character of the Detroit Lions was the offensive line, and you need that group to be the star of the show when Jared Goff's your quarterback, because Jared Goff does plenty of things well. If you're asking him to throw play action over the middle, I always said the man could fit it through a keyhole through the fires of hell. But I have major concerns about, can this group go over? They're well coached, but that's a tall order as the heartbeat of the team.
The Golix, weekday mornings from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio. If you want to talk Braves baseball,
Here comes some late night dynamite here at Truist Park.
there's only one place in town to turn for all the action. 1061 ESPN, bringing you nonstop Braves action all season long.
High deep to left field. That's a long gone daddy.
Presented by our friends at Park and Go. 1061 ESPN from the U.S. Army Recruiting Richmond Traffic Center.
There's been an accident this morning on Hermitage Road, just north of Laburnum Avenue. The right and center lanes are blocked off heading north on 95 due to a vehicle fire just before Chippenham Parkway, causing delays from 288. And just beware of a crash on Gaskins Road at Patterson Avenue.
Sports Talk, live, local, and 1061 ESPN Richmond. It's the Bill, powered by Ironclad Coffee and Baking Company.
So, Friday, I went on a bit of a rant talking about how the NCAA, the coaches, and the players are to blame in this entire college football eligibility, non-eligibility stuff between the suing, the litigation, the temporary restraining orders we're seeing, the lack of any guidance from the NCAA and coaches, namely one coach right now, and his name is Lane Kiffin, and he resides at LSU, skirting every single potential quote-unquote rule in order to win football games. And since that monologue, since that rant I had on Friday, we've got a little bit of an update to the entire story, and guess who it involves? Yes, Lane Kiffin. It involves Lane Kiffin and LSU, because Daquan Wright, a Browns tight end former Ole Miss player, Lane Kiffin guy, he was waived yesterday by the Cleveland Browns, and it is expected that he is going to go play and enroll at LSU this fall. He's reportedly the first player to have an actual NFL deal. He was fighting for a spot on the 53-man roster, then lined up a college return, got waived, and now is planning to go back to college. Of course, this all stems from the TRO that let 16 players from the 2022 class, led by ex-LSU edge Jack Pyburn, who had a couple of sacks in a preseason game just a week or so ago. It is allowing them back into the portal so that they can have a fifth season. Todd Monken, Cleveland's head coach, he had a quote on it at the podium, and it essentially summed up the absurdity about it all. He said Kiffin had called him a week earlier, fishing around. He said a couple of expletives about how stupid it all is. And now he knows why Lane Kiffin had called him fishing around a week ago when it came to Daquan Wright. Dan Lanning even went on record after Oregon's scrimmage, and he torched the entire thing, really unprompted, and it's worth listening to. This was Dan Lanning after the Oregon scrimmage.
I mean, I think there's a lot of negatives that are involved around this. One, once you go to the NFL, to me, you're in the NFL. You don't get the opportunity to come back. Two, most of us have built our rosters, and you have a limited roster limit now. So if you invited somebody back to your team, that means you're kicking somebody else off your team, right, to match your roster limits. I don't think that's fair to the players that worked all summer, all spring, and put themselves in position to be ready to work for a team, to have somebody come back. But ultimately, it used to be once you had an agent, or once you went and did the combine, or once you went to all those things qualified as you are no longer an amateur, you're a professional now once you declared for the draft. So to let any of those players come back, fair or unfair to them, it's unfair to the sport.
Exactly. Fair or unfair to the individual player, right? It's unfair to the sport. Daquan Wright, Jack Pyburn, the other guys that were involved in the TRO that is allowing them to enter the transfer portal, a lot of those guys currently fighting for a 53-man roster spot. They decided to leave college because their eligibility was up, and they got an agent. They did the combine if they got invited. They went to mini camps. They declared for the NFL. They did it all, right? They decided to go pro. I do not understand why coaches, well, I do understand, because coaches, all they care about is how many W's they have at the end of the season, because the more W's they got, the more cold hard cash they have in their pockets. And they don't care, for a majority of the coaches, they don't care who they hurt along the way or how it impacts the sport itself. Lane Kiffin especially. I'm glad Dan Lanning took to the microphone and he had something to say about it, saying fair or unfair to the individual player, it is unfair to the sport. And look, players, the NCAA, coaches, they all share blame in this situation. And the litigation being used as a workaround instead of a real eligibility fix is going to and has already caused lasting problems in the sport, regardless of a CBA or not, because that's something I'm seeing a lot of right now. Well, the only way to fix this is for them to collectively bargain. That is so much more complicated than just saying it is, right? It sounds so simple, but it is so much more complicated. The college players would need to unionize. That would involve just so much stuff that I don't know if college sports is able to comprehend at this point. But regardless of them signing a CBA or not, there are already real problems that the courts have upheld that would just never go back to the way it was. And this Daquan Wright LSU situation shows it's not a hypothetical anymore. It's happening this week. And who knows what turn this will all take in the next 24, 48 hours, or even a week or two from now, because things are moving really fast in all of this. And maybe now that we are seeing coaches who could benefit from this loophole, Dan Lanning, are saying no because of what it does to the guys who stayed and did it right. Maybe some things begin to change. Maybe public pushback from some of the top coaches in college football will change things. But Alan, this Daquan Wright stuff and potentially Jack Pyburn in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be interesting to see how it impacts college football and how the NFL responds to this, because that's been a very quiet character in all this.
Yeah, it's stupid. Let's just call it what it is.
You're right.
It's really stupid. It's the spectrum of is unfair. He's correct. Is absolutely unfair. But when you were talking, you were saying that like people were talking about, well, it needs to be fixed. It doesn't. There's nothing needs to be fixed because there was nothing wrong. You once you go to the draft, once you get an agent, all those things that he named,
yes,
those are the parameters that say you are no longer allowed
to be a college athlete.
Yes.
But now something needs to be fixed because a judge in Louisiana has ruled in favor of LSU and that was wrong and that they are allowed to come back. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that stupid?
I mean,
I just can't wrap my head around how a judge.
What are we, like 3 years into NIL?
3-4 years?
3-4 years, yeah. And I swear at the very beginning, I was adamant, do not let like anybody from the legality standpoint get involved. Like keep the government out of it because they're going to ruin it. And every 2 to 3 months, 4 to 5 months, we have something come up where some random judge is doing something that's like, let's be honest, a lot of this is based on like fandom. Like they're helping schools, they're helping programs, they're trying to help programs. Like this all starts with LSU, and I'm not necessarily blaming LSU for every little thing, but pretty much every situation that we've had so far that's challenged whatever the college norm is trying to be comes from somebody trying to get some kind of competitive advantage. We need somebody, NCAA, anybody that is affiliated with the sports to say no. Not the judges, not Congress. We need the people who regulate the sports.
Get government out of my sport. Like, because the justice system, the quote unquote justice system, whatever, the legality of it all, like we did the right thing by giving players the ability to profit off of their name, image, and likeness. I think we did the right thing by including revenue sharing in it all, because there have been people who have profited billions of dollars off of the backs of these student athletes. And at this point in the world, you know, a free education does not equal the amount of profiting that people had done off of them. So it's good that all of that happened. But now it's childish, it's selfish, it's kind of acting like a scaredy cat a little bit, Daquan, right? Oh, you can't make it in the NFL, so you're just going to run back to college football? Like, come on, man.
Like, you ain't going to make it in the NFL the second time around.
No,
either.
you ain't never going to make it because every team's going to blacklist you now because you just ran away from the Cleveland Browns. You just ran away because you knew you could not make the roster. You were not good enough. So as a 24-year-old now, you'd rather go back to college football and play against 18, 19-year-olds? Come on, man. Come on. Go be an insurance agent. If you can't make it, go be an insurance agent and you'll make a lot of money. Go back down to Baton Rouge or Ole Miss, wherever you played. Go open up your own insurance agency. Go be a car dealer. Go be a car salesman. You'll make some money. Get out of college football.
Unless it's Indiana, then he's playing like 25-year-olds.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. But look, those 25-year-olds, Indiana's getting caught in the crosshairs a little bit.
Yeah.
Their 25-years ain't never playing the NFL.
Yeah, I know. They didn't get
drafted.
drafted.
Just ultra injured guys that have been around in a couple extra years.
I do question how do you explain this to, like, and this is for our folks who are always like, what about the kids? How do you explain this to somebody like, hey, we're going to try to redshirt you, or we're going to take this roster spot because this guy's coming back? Like, what?
Right.
That's great. That to me, it's screaming exploitation all over again, just in a different form. Like you're exploiting young athletes. Like you're bringing them here, you're holding the roster spot, you're taking them through all the bells and whistles, you're promising them NIL, maybe, you know, the free education, all that good stuff. And then all of a sudden, the week before or the week of week 0, actually, we need this spot.
Yeah. Sorry, man. You lost your Scully.
What?
And there's another layer to all of this, too. To be eligible to play in college by NCAA rules, so we'll see if it actually holds up, but you need to have been at least 6 credit hours the semester before
you got to enroll,
So, like, Daquan Wright, if he just jumped after the fall semester because he wanted to go start prepping for the NFL, which he failed at, then he was not an enrolled student in the spring. So he may not even be eligible. Like, there's a whole new layer to it all as well. It's so frustrating.
Judge a rule that you don't need to do that here.
And that's the frustrating thing. Like, I felt like we all pretty much could agree, regardless of what side of the aisle you were on when it came to NIL and paying players and everything. We all could agree. Yeah, once you get an agent, you go to the NFL, you're done. That's something that was universally agreed. Then college basketball started to be like, well, what if we get these G League guys who were never technically pros? And then that threw a wrench in the system. And now the NFL or the college is like, What if we go get guys who are on active NFL rosters?
If you participated in an event that people had to pay to get a ticket, I'm going to say you're a professional athlete now at this point. That might be the only way to stop people from getting around these rules. Like the G League stuff was kind of crazy too.
The G League stuff was real crazy.
Yeah. And I know there's some folks who had the argument, well, they'll play overseas in like the FIBA leagues and then they're allowed to come back. But I think that designation was it was different by the NBA. Like they had set that as different for some reason.
And also like, because it is a little bit of a murky gray area, right? The fact that DeRitter at UVA was a fantastic player over in a European league, but he also never had the chance to go to college.
Yeah.
Like these were G League players that had graduated out of college to go then pursue their NBA dreams. And then when they realized they could not do that, but they still were good enough to play in college, they wanted to run back home to mommy and have him protect him.
Collegiate journeyman is crazy work.
With this Daquan Wright stuff, Jack Pyburn, all of it, like it is a little frustrating. Even a bit of the Trent Hendricks stuff, which I might be walking on eggshells a bit with this one. St. Chris kid, he tried to go follow NFL stuff, was in a couple of mini camps. He now has been granted his eligibility back, and he's transferred to UCLA to play out his quote-unquote final year of eligibility. But it's just like, when does eligibility run out?
Yeah.
When does it run out?
I thought Monken kind of tongue-in-cheek was calling it what it was. And then it's also important to point out, Monken's not too far removed from college athletics.
What, 5 years ago he was the Georgia OC?
Yeah, so I would imagine his perception on it is totally different than, say, like a John Harbaugh or even a Jim Harbaugh, who's kind of been in the league for a couple more years. So I think it's important to listen to the guys like Lanning, like Monken, who are already voicing their displeasure in it. I'm assuming at some point we'll see Nick Saban on College Game Day being like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think in order for this to change, there needs to be an outcry from current college coaches. I think there needs to be kind of a concerted effort similar to that of the Texas Tech Brendan Sorsby of it all.
But again, the parents, man, like this is going to affect your kids.
Yeah.
They're coming for your kids' roster spot. Like, you should stand up for your kids as well. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're right now in high school wanting to play Division I football, right? You may not have a roster spot because a former NFL player who failed at his life dream of trying to make it onto a 53-man roster, he's going to want to come crying back home to mommy. He may take your son's roster spot. That's crazy work. That is crazy. All right. We're going to get a quick break in, step aside, be back with more Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning, 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Richmond's only local morning sports show. Fitz the Bill. Back soon.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Tune in to the Henrico Huddle with Dennis Bickmeyer the last Wednesday of each month, afternoons on 106.1 ESPN or updates online at henricosea.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. And if there's two things you can count on, it's your smoke detector battery dying at 3 a.m. Not 3 p.m. on a Saturday when you have nothing going on, but in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep.
Oh, come on.
Get 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Just one more thing you can count on. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
This is Freddie and Harry. Keeping sweet home, Chicago. Outside of the Rams, which NFL team is truly in a Super Bowl or bust season?
Freddie, Harry, listen. You hear that sound? Shots fired. Atlanta Falcons should be in Super Bowl or bust. I think they're going to bust. Next, New York Jets. Wow. It already blew up.
I'm going to fight Keith when I see him in Chicago. I can't wait to see you.
Freddie and Harry. Weekdays from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio.
1061 ESPN weather.
We're expecting clear and sunny skies throughout the morning, continuing into the afternoon, with highs reaching 87 degrees, lower humidity than we've been seeing in the past week, and lows tonight dropping down to 60.
Listening to Fitz the Bill, morning sports talk show. 1061 ESPN Richmond.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning. Appreciate you clocking in, making us part of your morning as we head on out to the Radke Insurance phone line. Dolphin Dave on line one. Morning, Dolphin Dave. How we doing?
Can you hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear.
All right. The reason is I was in a place where you were cutting out, but that was just the radio. Listen, guys. First, I don't know if I've ever explained this to you all, but Nick Saban, I think, is next to the devil himself. Maybe not quite that bad. I've never liked Nick Saban. A part of it because he did kind of job the Miami Dolphins back in the day. Part of it is I'm going to put this out. It's funny. This is the best way I can put it. It's funny he quit the sport when everybody else could start paying him. And that's the best way I can put it. All right? But here's the thing. The NIL had to be there. I know I always say I'm old, and this is going to shock you. I think the NIL had to be there in some form just because of the way the NCAA was taking care of the athletes. The reason I'm bringing that up is there's also got to be some kind of, your friend Matt Joseph says that the worst lawyers in the world are the ones the NCAA, because everybody sues and loses. The NCAA loses. And real quickly, he's got a point. But at some point, we have to put some curbs on it. And I don't know how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
But I think 5 years of eligibility is fine. I think it's ridiculous, and I totally agree with you, Jack, that, some guy who didn't make the NFL roster can go back to college. He's been in the campus, so sorry, guys, you made that decision. So I think there's got to be some curbs on it. But I'm just also saying you said Nick Saban might come up and say something. You know what? I don't listen to that man, and I'm sorry, I just don't.
I love it, Dolphin Dave. Appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your Monday. I think, too, what's really interesting about this entire situation is right now, this is all happening because of that 5-for-5 ruling that the NCAA made a couple of months ago. And in that ruling, they did not grandfather in the class of 2022. They said, all right, if you graduated, you're done. We're not going to grandfather you in. You've already gone on. You've done your thing. And it's just going to be right here, right now. 5-for-5 starts now. We're not grandfathering in class of 2022. So that created a ton of these lawsuits. And I get what Matt's saying, host of the Mid-Major Match Show, where the worst lawyers in the country reside at the NCAA. I just think, unfortunately, the lawyers at the NCAA are going into battle with an empty clip. They just don't have a lot of legal standing for a lot of the rules that the NCAA is trying to uphold. And that might speak to a bigger issue in and around the NCAA. But what I am really worried about when it comes to this 5-for-5 rule and all of these lawsuits is that it is starting to undermine the idea of what is and what isn't eligibility. So right now it is just pertaining to the class of 2022. But next year, what's to stop a guy who failed to make a 53-man roster at suing himself, saying that eligibility isn't really anything and it's a dumb rule upheld by the NCAA and it's actually hurting my ability to make money? Therefore, it brings in what? Antitrust stuff? Like, that's what I'm worried about. Is this going to open up the floodgate to completely undermine what eligibility is and isn't? And yeah, maybe Nick Saban isn't necessarily the guy. I don't think he'd have a lot of people listening to him down in Florida when it comes to what he did to the Miami Dolphins. I love how Dolphin Dave phrased that, though. He is right next to Satan himself.
Yeah,
that's funny,
I'm always going to slightly disagree on that one because, I mean, he told you guys to get him Drew Brees, and you got him Dante Culpepper. I would leave too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't let Dolphin Dave hear it. But like that's the biggest thing I am worried about. The fact that the lawyers at the NCAA, because of their own issues that started 50, 60 years ago or whatever it might be, and the fact that the NCAA really isn't an entity itself, it's rather just a grouping of college presidents, not even athletic directors. So that brings a whole new list of issues into it as well. But these are issues that started 50, 60 years ago. Things weren't updated. They didn't have clear leadership. So the NCAA lawyers are going into battle with empty clips. They don't have anything to fight back with because they have a bunch of toothless rules. And so because of that, I'm very worried about how this is going to impact eligibility down the road, and if players and coaches continue to push it and see how far they can get it. And with coaches like Lane Kiffin out there who have shown they're okay with completely skirting around the quote-unquote rules in order to get a better team, who knows where this ends up in 5 years?
No, I totally agree. Yeah, it's definitely a Pandora's box, honestly.
Truly. All right, you ready for some news or snooze on this Monday morning?
Let's get it.
News or snooze.
News or snooze sources. Raiders Genty likely has an ankle sprain.
Newsworthy. Mainly because I don't know if you saw the outcry from Raiders fans when this first happened. They thought he may have broken his ankle. There was a ton of worry around what happened with Ashton Genty. So newsworthy that it's just an ankle sprain. Also newsworthy, ankle sprains sometimes are a lingering issue. We don't know if it's a high ankle sprain, low ankle sprain, whatever it is, where it occurred in the ankle. But that's something that typically lingers. So if you're a guy or girl who's out there about to do your fantasy draft, maybe you avoid Ashton Genty a little bit because you don't know how much that ankle sprain is going to play into his season. Schefter and Ian Rappaport report, say that 10 times fast, Ian Rappaport report.
Yeah.
It's believed to be a sprained ankle, not a long-term injury, though the Raiders don't yet know how much time he'll miss. He was expected to be one of the centerpieces in Clint Kubiak's offense after Genty ran for 1,300 yards last season.
Yeah, I was very confused. Practice on a Sunday? I mean, I guess. I mean, this
no days off.
I guess it was. I was very confused. Practice on a Sunday, because when I got the alert, I was like, "Is this delayed? Why is Ashton Genty practicing on a Sunday?"
I saw the tweets. I thought someone was joking or something. Like it was one of those fake accounts, but turns out it was real. I guess that's what happens when you question God. It's supposed to be Sabbath day. You're not supposed to do anything on Sunday. And they're like, we're practicing.
I mean, if we're talking religion, the Raiders lost that a long time ago. Sure.
Yeah. Al Davis wasn't doing too much.
It's just golf. Live season ends amid shaky future.
Snoozeworthy. Live is dead. It's done.
We're on brand. What, every 2 months? I said every 2 to 3 months we get something
something. John Rahm, he got the win in the Live season finale at Indianapolis, his course or whatever they're calling it. It was a 7 under 63, third straight season points title, second straight team crown, whatever that means. Saudi Arabia's PIF, we all know it's pulling its financial backing now because the season is done. Liv canceled 2 events this year, including next weekend's planned finale. Rahm's shrug on the chaos. Once he steps on the course, he says it's just golf. Everything else fades. While Liv's CEO says he's confident enough core players will be back for a reimagined 2027. There's going to be no Liv in 2027. Yeah. That thing's done.
Meanwhile, at the BMW, my guy Gary Woodland had the swing of swings, man. He was in second, I believe, and just hit the top of the golf ball on the tee shot, and it went a. It looked like. Have you ever played the PGA games? It looks like when your controller messes up on the backswing and you just barely touch it and just tap it. I think it went 100 yards, and there was a creek in front of him. I don't know if it got in the creek. I didn't see it live. I just saw the replay, and I was just like, "Oh, Gary, Fitz.
Yeah, poor Gary.
Hey, this it's funny the spectrum, right? Liv is dying, and the PGA playoffs has been pretty good.
Pretty good. And Wyndham Clark has just found himself on a nice little heater.
All it takes is a run and Scotty to get. I think he's sick. I think they said he was sick.
Something
like that. You need a little luck.
It's MJ's flu game. Someone ordered pizza to his room weirdly at 3 a.m.
He wouldn't have ate it. Monken, Watson comments not a factor in QB call.
Snooze. This is what Monken said about Deshaun Watson's comments at the presser, where he said the fans are booing him not for perform. It was weird comments from Watson. This is what Monken said.
It does not, and I anticipate making it tomorrow.
Okay, and what are the last sort of aspects that will go into this decision?
I still have a few things to weigh out, but I'm not going to get into that. But we anticipate Damon the starter tomorrow.
All right, we'll know a starter soon.
Can I go?
Please.
What do we have to watch? Why does Shedeur have to keep going through this?
Deshaun Watson, 5
Find
of 12.
a quarterback that's better than Shedeur Sanders if you don't want the kid to play. Because you're not going to roll out Deshaun Watson at his tender age of whatever he hasn't played football in like 4 years.
2 years he has not played because he tore his Achilles and he tore his Achilles again.
He hasn't played good football in like 4 years.
He hasn't played good football since 2020.
Dylan Gabriel in no planet and no timeline is better than Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur isn't good, it should be easy to find somebody, anybody better than him to put in this situation. They keep stalling my man. And I'm like, dude, if you can find a quarterback better than him, then cool. But every time he stepped on the field, he's looked better than the guys that the Browns have had. He looks like the best option. Why does he have to go through this BS again?
Look, Shedeur's the best quarterback they have on the roster right now. I also will say if Joe Flacco wasn't traded from them last season, Joe Flacco would have been a great
And I would have had no problem.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, Cleveland just cannot get out of their own way. Like, Joe Flacco with Denzel Bosch and Casey Concepcion, like, pretty good little group of skill players, right? Like, but you traded him for next to nothing to go to the Bengals, where he's now signed as the backup to Joe Burrow. Like, Browns can't get out of their own way. And now they're trying to trot out Deshaun Watson, who goes 5 of 12, 35 yards, and a pick when he was working with the back.
Terrible.
He looks horrible. And then Cleveland fans boo him, and he takes to the podium after the game, calling it disrespectful. And it's clearly more than just football that they're booing him about. Yeah, man, it's that you suck at football. You are historically bad. Terrible. When he was a starter 2 years ago before he got hurt with 2 Achilles injuries, he was at a historically bad clip. Historically. Like the worst quarterback in the history of the NFL. Since then, he has torn his Achilles twice. He then looks terrible again in the preseason. And, oh, by the way, you're alleged of a lot of terrible things, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get booed.
And your contract is $250 million guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed.
Yeah. Like, fans are invested for better or worse in the financials of their teams. So they feel like you wasting their money too. So I didn't have a problem with them booing them.
No, boo them all the time.
I didn't even have a problem with them commenting on it. For real, it's a situation where the fans don't like you. You don't like them. You're only here because they owe you so much money. Like, let's just be honest about it. But at the end of the day, you're not good enough at the one thing they need you to be good enough at, and that is football.
If I heard that, I think it was Dan Graziano talking about it on Sportsmanlike when I was driving in this morning, where he was like, if Deshaun Watson had played well these last 2-3 years for the Cleveland Browns, like he doesn't get hurt and he had played well, they would not care about his off the field stuff because he would be winning football games, which is unfortunately true.
Yeah.
It's just now that he is terrible at the sport and he has all the off the field stuff, and it has led to all of this. And now Todd Monken saying that they're going to weigh the full body of work. If it's not Shedeur Sanders, we riot.
Dude, the full body of work doesn't look good at all, man.
Worth noting that in their last preseason game, Watson played with the backups. Shedeur played with the starters. Shedeur went 9 of 11, 74 yards, a touchdown, and a pick in the preseason loss to Buffalo. But Shedeur played with the starters. Deshaun played with the backups.
He started 8 for 8. His 9th pass was a smidge behind the tight end or somebody, and it went off his hands and deflected into an interception for Hamlin, and he turned around and he did just fine after that.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be boom or bust at times. We know that. He has a ceiling. He has a floor. But at the end of the day, again, he has been better than Dylan Gabriel. He has been better than Deshaun Watson. Why the freak are we doing this, man? Like, the Browns need stability. Stop with the stupidity. Anybody who's ever watched a film of any quarterback play in any football version knows that Shadour's the better quarterback in this situation, man. This is crazy. It's like if Penix was playing and Tua was still out there. You're not going to try to sell me on Tua having a chance in this QB competition. No, man.
Yeah, I will say, I don't think Dylan Gabriel's still involved in the conversation. I think he's out of it. But
like, Watson's terrible.
Yeah, Watson is horrible. Just get him out. Just get him out of the NFL.
I told somebody the other day, I'd rather have Anthony Richardson. And that's saying a lot because I'm really low on Anthony Richardson.
I would rather have Anthony Richardson, too. At least there's more of an upside, and there isn't all the money tied up with him, and there's not the off-the-field stuff.
Ridiculous.
Just do that. All right, we're getting a quick break in. Step aside, be back, wrap up first hour of Fitz the Bill.
You're tuned into Fitz the Bill.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast 10 a.m. to noon every Saturday on 1061 ESPN. Presented by the Racing Biz.
Tune in to the Henrico Huddle with Dennis Bickmeyer the last Wednesday of each month, afternoons on 1061 ESPN or updates online at henricosea.com.
Bonaire Shell has been serving the RVA community for 20-plus years, providing service with a smile and technicians you can trust. Family-owned and operated, 8762 Huguenot Road.
Looking for a great place to catch the game this weekend? Check out Shepherd Street Tavern for football game day specials and laid-back vibes. 2922 Park Avenue in the historic Museum District.
You're tuned into Fitz the Bill, Richmond's only local morning sports talk show on 1061 ESPN Richmond. Powered by Ironclad Coffee and Baking Company.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill here on this Monday morning. Coming up in hour number 2, right at the top of the hour, Bennett Conlon from JMU Sports News will be joining us to chat about the QB battle ongoing in Harrisonburg and the expectations for the JMU Dukes following their college football playoff appearance a season ago. Plus, at 9:30, it is our 4-a-days high school football previews. Dinwiddie, Hanover, King William, and Henrico today. We've got 4 more tomorrow, 4 more on Wednesday. That all leads us up to the Thursday night kickoff. We'll be out at Hopewell as Hopewell hosts Highland Springs Thursday night. That's our first game of the 2026 804 high school football season. Then on Friday, we've got a game in mind. We've just got to confirm it. We've got to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and we will announce that hopefully tomorrow once we're able to confirm where we will be Friday night. It is a special 2-night premiere of the 804 high school football season. It'll be Highland Springs at Hopewell on Thursday, and the announcement for Friday likely will be coming tomorrow. But keep it locked, 9:30, we've got our high school football 4-a-days, Dinwiddie, Hanover, King William, and Henrico.
Sponsored by Monster Energy Drink.
Sponsored by Monster Energy Drink. Yep, you gotta stay up, stay focused. Stay focused with it all because it's going to be a long high school football. We're going to be putting the miles on the car this year, man. All right, stay with us. Bennett Conlon from JMU Sports News. He'll be joining us to kick off hour number 2. You don't want to miss it right here, 1061 ESPN Richmond.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Kirk Herbstreit. Before kickoff starts, I like the room that looks ready and plays tough. Fresh paint, strong coverage, and a finish that can handle a full season of Saturday celebrations.
Air Ultra Interior Paint has an extra durable finish that holds up from game time to the off-season. It covers in fewer coats, goes on smooth, and helps walls stay looking new longer. Game-ready defense with coverage that goes the distance. Bear Ultra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Your 24/7 destination for everything in the game. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, ESPNRichmond.com, streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch the stream, just type in ESPN Richmond. We should pop right on up, and you can watch the stream live. Here, kicking off hour number 2, we've got Bennett Conlon on the Radkey Insurance phone line. Good morning, Bennett. How we doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, of course, man. I want to start with the biggest question around JMU football. It's a question that's also around Virginia Tech football and most programs, it feels like in this day and age, the quarterback competition. JMU has got Camden Coleman, the Richmond transfer. They've got J.C. Evans, the homegrown kid. What's the latest on the QB competition?
Yeah, I think they feel good about both and feel like they can win with both, which maybe makes them a little more confident they can kind of drag it out publicly at least. Coleman, we've talked about this a bunch. He's the one who has experience, right? He played 2 seasons at Richmond, went 13-1 as a starter, so that's kind of his edge, is that he's played meaningful college football snaps. Where J.C. Evans, I think you get excited about the athleticism, the tools there. He's 6'4", 6'5", 230. He's probably faster than Camden Coleman. Both guys, I think, are decent at the thing they're supposed to be weak at that. So I think Evans is a better passer than he gets credit for. Coleman may be a better rusher than he gets credit for. But I think they both fit well into an offensive scheme that's going to be way different this year for JMU fans. It's an up-tempo offense run by Cam Aiken, who was the offensive coordinator at East Tennessee State last year. So I think that also helps, where I don't think they have to be perfect at quarterback, because I think they're changing to a scheme that's maybe been the most quarterback-friendly. A little bit quarterback whisperer, but this scheme, this high tempo scheme, you can win with a lot of different quarterbacks. So I think that gives them a little bit of a buffer here when it comes to making their decision.
Bennett, do you buy into this whole gamesmanship thing? I always forget what your opinion is on it, where these coaches decide to wait until the very last second to announce who's going to be the starting quarterback.
I think there could be some benefit when you go to the Liberty team that's supposed to be much better this year. So maybe there's a little bit you can gain from the offense looking slightly different under Camden Coleman than it would under J.C. Evans. But I think it'd be so similar that I don't think there's a huge benefit there. I don't think it's going to change the prep much for Liberty. So I don't think it's a huge win either way. I kind of go back and forth on whether it helps the player or not. Maybe there's some benefit to putting it publicly where they can kind of have that day or two right on social media where they're getting all the buzz about them being the starting quarterback. Maybe it's better to ignore that and they don't have to worry about it until after the game. So it's already, they played a game and there's buzz. They don't have that extra pressure maybe. So maybe there's some benefit there. I know they announced Barnett a few days before he was a starter in 2023. It seemed like it maybe got in his head just a little bit.
With everything going on around JMU and the quarterback position, are there any other positional battles or anything else that you've been keeping an eye on this offseason in fall camp?
Yeah, I'm interested mostly in the secondary and kind of how that looks. I think they look pretty good defensively up front. The linebackers seem like they should be pretty solid, but the secondary has a lot of new faces, new names. I think they're hoping that Ken Willis, who returns, he played to start his career at Cincinnati. He was with the Dukes last year, but didn't play all that much. They're hoping he can take on a bigger role at corner. At safety, they have some really talented players that I think they feel decent about. Chase Regan comes back and is an exciting guy. TJ McGill, who played at William & Mary, is a return last year at JMU. So they do have some names in the secondary that I think are talented, but they haven't done a lot at JMU, where I think almost every other defensive position group, you look at linebacker and Gannon Weathersby, who's a really reliable player for multiple seasons in Harrisonburg. Mark Thomas on the defensive line. They have guys who are coming back that have played in the purple and gold and been really good. You don't have as much of that in the secondary. Same goes with corner, where I mentioned Willis. They got DJ Kelly in from Toledo. Damian Minka comes in from Shepherd. So they have names and guys that I think they're competent in, but from a fan perspective, it's a little bit different just because there aren't a ton of guys outside of KJ Flo who have been kind of a lead or really consistent in the secondary that have been doing it in Harrisonburg.
Bennett Conlon from JMU Sports News joining us this Monday morning. Bennett, as we are barreling towards the start of the college football season, JMU is the only Virginia school to have made the college football playoff. Virginia Tech, they got James Franklin. UVA with Tony Elliott coming off of maybe the best year ever for UVA football. Stack it up for me. Between the schools in the FBS in the state of Virginia, how do they work out in your mind?
That's a good question. I think you could have an exciting little subplot. You could have like 5 bowl teams in the state, right, where everyone goes to the bowl, Liberty, ODU, Virginia Tech, JMU. There's a lot of bowl games, so maybe not the most impressive accomplishment, but I think that's certainly a possibility this year. It's hard to say exactly without seeing Virginia Tech and exactly what they look like in year one under Franklin. I'll give JMU the benefit of the doubt here. I'll stick them at 1 because they're coming off the playoff. I'll go UVA 2, Virginia Tech 3, and I'll do ODU 4, Liberty 5, kind of baking in some of last year's success. But I think Virginia Tech's got a super high ceiling. They've got some talented players they brought in. I think Franklin will do a nice job building that program up. And then I think UVA has just kind of been underrated because they're maybe not known as like a football school, but I don't think last year was a fluke. They're putting a lot of money into that roster. I think Tony Elliott, when you give him a good roster, is going to find a way to make some things work. So they're pretty solid. And I think Napier has a lot of runway at JMU to have success. They should, year in and year out, have one of the best rosters in the Sun Belt. And he's proven the ability to win in the Sun Belt. So I'd expect them to be pretty good this year, too. And I'm excited to see what ODU and Liberty do. Both teams have, upside. I think kind of a bowl game would be their minimum goal this year with the potential to win a conference championship, both those teams.
Bennett Conlon from JMU Sports News taking some time out of his Monday morning to chat with us. You mentioned money in the roster when it comes to UVA and how they are heavily invested in that roster in Charlottesville. We just heard from Chesney in an interview with Bill Simmons, which was, it's just so funny that Bob Chesney he went from talking to people like us on ESPN Richmond to now doing interviews with Bill Simmons from The Ringer, but I digress. Chesney mentioned that they walked into that Oregon game with $400,000 in their roster. That is shockingly low in today's landscape. How do you think Napier handles, granted, they most likely, we don't know the specifics of it, but most likely have more money in their roster this year following their college football playoff appearance. But how do you think Napier is going to go about, and this might sound rude saying it, but making lemonade out of the quote-unquote lemons, which is less money than what maybe some other schools at P4 programs, or maybe less money than what Napier had at Florida. How do you think he handles roster development?
Yeah, so I think it's interesting, and it's kind of funny. Like he's said throughout the offseason, Billy Napier has success leaves clues. But with the roster management, he's not really like, it makes it seem like he's being a detective. He's kind of just like ripping off, which I think is smart, the strategy that Chesney had done at JMU. Like he just loaded up on D2, D3, FCS, and G5, G6 guys for the roster. And it's just funny how he's talking about kind of success leaving clues. He literally took the blueprint that Chesney has done changed nothing and is just doing it again. And I think it's a really good strategy. Signetti had success with it, but if you can bring in guys who played at a lower level, who maybe aren't concerned with the paycheck or more likely aren't getting offered a lot of big paychecks, but they know that if they come to your school and have success, then they're going to get a huge payday that following season. So typically, if you can get some of these, FCS or D2 guys that have multiple years of eligibility, I think he's done a really good job of that. You look at the receiver position, Corey Scott from West Florida, multiple years left. You look at Jeremiah Harrison from ETSU, has more than a year left. He's got 3 years left, I believe. So they've got guys like that they come here, they can start, and then they can get a huge bag or paycheck that following year. So I know he's described it in some ways as kind of like a P4 Moneyball Napier has. And I think that makes sense. I think he's, I wouldn't give him great detective skills necessarily, but I guess he's taking what Chesney did and trying to use that model where you get guys who are concerned about money in some way, but they're kind of, maybe a little bit smarter in the fact that they're like, hey, I might not get a huge paycheck this year, but I'll get some money from JMU. And if I play the way that I think I can in an FBS conference, then the big dollars will fall after that. But I'm also not missing out on in-game development and reps, which is extremely valuable when you look at what P14 won in the portal that next season.
Yeah, Chesney was kind of really open about that. I remember sitting down with him last year at the JMU football media day and kind of asked that exact question of like, do you pitch it as come here for a year and then you'll get a bigger paycheck next year? And Chesney was kind of like shockingly candid where he's like, yeah, it's kind of stupid if we don't understand the world that we're living in and where we are in the pecking order. And it worked out for him. And it seems that Napier is doing similar things. I'd love to know more about that. Maybe I can get him on and chat with him on that whole front. But in Napier's first year, how would you define success? I know it's something we talk about all the time. How many wins? Is it a Sun Belt title? Is it a Sun Belt title appearance? Is it a big name bowl game? And I feel like it's an answer that's always moving. So right here, right now on August 24th, how would you define success under Billy Napier year one?
I think it's probably like 8-ish wins. If you can get that or more, I think people will be pretty happy. The schedule is pretty manageable. There's no P4 games, so I think that's a realistic goal. And then I think fairly or not, a lot of schools, when your coach leaves somewhere else and then you bring in a new coach, there's going to be kind of that natural comparison. And Chesney did a really good job. Kind of unfair after a certain point. I think people realize it's pretty tough to compare him to Signetti, right, who goes and wins a championship in Indiana in 2 seasons. But Chesney did a good enough job that people kind of forgot about that comparison and didn't make it a thing. I do think the Chesney-Napier comparison is more interesting in the sense that, like, I think people look at Napier as he's rebuilding his image and he's been around the block for a while and done all these things. He's 2 years younger than Bob Chesney, which I don't think people maybe realize or understand a lot. But Chesney's 49, Napier's 47.
Really?
So he's kind of in that, he's in that same bucket of being like the sick range. But they traded out a coach who's a one-time Sun Belt Coach of the Year for Billy Napier, who's a 2-time Sun Belt Coach of the Year. So I think the expectation should be pretty high. There's certainly a world this year where JMU wins 10-plus games and UCLA with kind of a tough schedule goes like 5-7. And I do think people could be looking at it like, like maybe they ended up getting themselves in a pretty good spot. So I think for Napier to rebuild his image quickly and, remind people that like he's not 50 yet and he's still, been a head coach in multiple places, including an SEC program. If he can win 8 or more, I think he gets off to a really strong start there. And then, of course, if he's flirting with like 10 wins, pretty quickly, I think people will look at Napier in a different light. And it also, I guess, another comparison, and there's going to be John Summerall at Florida. If they don't go to a bowl and UCLA doesn't go to a bowl and JMU wins 10 games, I think the Napier narrative nationally is pretty different here in 12 months than what it is right now this August.
Man, my mind is blown that he is younger than Chesney. I guess the sun does different things to you in the Northeast than it does in the Southeast.
Chesney's a healthy 49.
He is a chipper 49-year-old. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a 29-year-old. Wow, that is the stat of the day. Bennett, appreciate your time on this Monday morning. Appreciate you waking up with us here on Fitz the Bill. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. I'll let you process that fact for a couple of hours.
I'll talk to you about it later. There goes Bennett Conley from James Fortune. Man, that is shocking. Chesney is 49. Napier's 47. That is I don't know why in my mind Napier was like it might be the Southern accent. I feel like Southern accent always ages somewhat a little bit too.
Southern accent, and then also sometimes we assume coaches in certain positions are older because a lot of times you need experience to get to a level of like a Florida or something like that.
And I guess Chesney just cut his teeth for so long in the D3, D2 FCS world. Napier, I felt like, had more of a meteor. People are saying that Chesney has this meteor. I know
what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. This big rise, but really he's just been kind of biding his time and waiting for the right things. Where Napier was Louisiana, Florida, and like was in the limelight and was with headlines all the time about him. So that probably has to do with it a bit too.
Yeah, and you know, I think working at a place like Florida probably gives you a lot of gray hairs as well.
You're right. You're right on that one.
It kind of ages you a little bit. It's a lot of stress at a school like Florida.
Truly. All right, 804-327-0888. The Radkey Insurance phone line is open here in hour number 2. We want to hear from you. And then also head on over to radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today. We're going to get a break in. Step aside. Say what? Say what's coming up next.
You're with Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond this morning. Short break. Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN, presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Amber and Ian. People are saying now the Dodgers have ruined baseball. And so that narrative does help Major League Baseball from a PR perspective. I don't think it's going to help them with the players. Like, they're not going to go into these negotiations and now they're like, well, now the Dodgers are big bad Dodgers because of Skubal. And the players will be like, you know what, you're right. We've had a change of heart because of this Skubal trade. That's not how this is going to play out. But it does matter in the court of public opinion.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Richmond wanted local sports talk in the morning, and we Fitz the Bill. Back now on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
What you say?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Say what are you saying? The keepers are too good. Bigger, stronger, faster, just like every other position in the National Football League. Believe it or not, keepers are always going to improve and always going to get better. And we're long past being there. You gotta get the field goal post. No, you gotta make them narrow.
Oh, man.
Now, they don't have to be as close as arena football, all right? But you bring the field goal posts in. It's way too easy to make kicks.
So that was Jonathan Zaplow, ESPN radio host on Game Day, talked about how the field goal posts need to be narrower. And Alan, when I first heard that, I loved the idea because he's right. Field goals need to be harder because anecdotally, kickers were getting too good, hitting them from further and further away. And look, scoring had begun to be too easy because of kickers' ranges and the new touchback rules. I fully agreed. Then I dove into some numbers and I realized he's just kind of wrong.
I don't think it's any easier. I think we just see the grand kicks, right? We see the big booming kicks.
Yeah.
But like, man, you be hard pressed to find a guy that can make a 30-yarder. I mean, that's what it looks like.
Exactly. There are not. Ask the Commanders. They've been struggling to find a kicker for quite some time. Now, the percentage of drives that have ended in scores, it has gone up slightly nearly every year since 2022. 2022, 36% of drives ended in a score. That's a touchdown or a field goal. 2023, that dropped by about 0.8%. Then it jumped up to 38.8% in 24, and 39.6% of drives ended in either a touchdown or a field goal in 2025. That's what the NFL wants. The NFL wants more scoring. More scoring leads to more highlights, leads to more eyeballs. That's their end goal. And we've also seen overall accuracy and distance increase year over year for the most part, right? From 2022 to 2025, we've gone from 37.9 yards average made distance to 39.2. That's a pretty solid jump. So maybe there are stats to show that, yeah, we should make the field goal posts a little bit more narrow. But then you actually dive into it because this all stems back from the K-ball rule, the kicking ball rules that were changed prior to the start of last season, where field goal kickers, they get a full week with their K-balls rather than like the hour before the game. The NFL said, you know what? We'll send you guys the K-balls the week before, and you can do whatever you want to them. You can doctor them up. You can kick the heck out of them. You can put some of that fake mud on it. Do whatever you want on the K-balls. And so we saw a jump from 2024 to 2025 in the average make percentage across the league. 84% of kicks were made in 2024. That jumped all the way up to 85.6 in 2025. But here's the thing. 2023, 2 years prior to the K-ball change, they actually had a better make percentage by 0.3%. 85.9% of kicks were made in 2023. So should we have made the field goal posts more narrow back in 2023? Math doesn't fully math. And there's a guy on Twitter, Josh Hermsmeyer, who does deep dives into numbers. He pulled every field goal attempt from 2018 to 2025, over 8,600 attempts from 90 different field goal kickers, because he wanted to test. He wanted to test that if the K-ball prep rules actually did change the way that field goals were made. And the big finding was that, no, not really. Now, the data, there might not be enough data to say definitively, but it really isn't either yes or no. So why do people think that this K-ball change has made it easier for kickers and have led people like Jonathan Zaslow to think that they need to make kicking harder? Well, kind of like what you were saying, Alan, we see the big booming kicks, we see the highlights, and teams are now more apt to attempt more long kicks than they've ever been before. There were 115 attempts last season from 55 yards or more, only 92 in 2024. And when you go all the way back to 2018, there were just 47 attempts from 55 yards or more. So more attempts, they make them at a good rate. Feels like that's a breakthrough season, but volume isn't the same as distance. And I mentioned it earlier, 2023, they actually had a better average make percentage across the league. And in 2022, the make rate on 55 yarders or more was 67.1%, which is better than last year's number of 64.3%. And that was before this new K-ball rule even existed. So a great season happens periodically just from noise and randomness. 2022 proves a season can run hot with the old way of doing things. So 2025 running slightly hot isn't proof of the new ball making things too easy showing that we don't need to have sweeping changes like closing in the field goal post. I bring this up because this is a consistent topic when you talk to football fans. They're like, touchback rules need to change, and we need to make field goals more difficult because they're making them too often.
Yeah, I have never been concerned with kicking.
Yeah.
I'm pretty open about it. Like, respect kickers and what they bring to the game. But I don't care about the kicking rules, man. I mean, if anything, I don't mind the kickoff rules because it probably limits the exposure to concussions for a lot of those guys. But I used to like the excitement of a kickoff when we had like
Devin
Hesters and things like that, Dante Hall, some of the great. And I know there's some guys that got some wiggle in the league today probably would benefit even get a roster spot if we had the old rules. But at the end of the day, I think the initiative to push for safer measures, considering how big athletes are and things like that nowadays, yeah, I was okay with that. But like moving the field goal post, like figuratively or literally, it's not that important, man. It's not.
If there's one rule that we want to change to impact kicking or whatever it might be, which I don't think there should be, but if there is one, maybe you make the punishment a little harsher for missed kicks from long range. Just because you've seen that spike up, and it hasn't resulted in more makes. It's just as I think through analytics, teams are more like, 3 points here. The 67% chance that we make this kick is more important than us punting and pinning the other team or even going for it on fourth down. And what used to be known as no man's land has kind of turned into, might as well try it.
Well, and I also would like to know and probably believe as well that, you were talking about the data showing like people score more. I think offenses are more aggressive now. I think that's because of the analytical approach. It's become so publicized. Like you're 33% more likely to win this game if you go for it here and things like that. I think that's helped the uptick as well. But there's only one like Aubrey. There's not a lot of guys that I'm speaking as a Niner fan. I openly call him Kicking Kyle every time he settles for a field goal. I can't stand it, and we've lost many a big game by doing that. So
we drew Super Bowls.
Yeah, so I get that Zazo is trying to be a big brain, but I don't think the game needs to change in that aspect. Let's focus on other things like again, stupid illegal touching or whatever they call it. It's a 5-yard automatic first down. It was in the preseason game last night. I'm like, just give them the pass to the first if that's the case.
I hate going on a complete other tangent like that. I hate when penalties do not equate to 10 yards or more and they are automatic first down.
Like
a 5-yard penalty should never be an automatic first down. Unless it is 2nd and 3.
Yeah.
Then it can be a first down. But if it is 1st and 10, make it 1st and 5.
Yeah. Something like that.
Why are we going? That makes no sense to me. My friend Tim just texted in. I've long promoted a 1-point bonus in college football if the kicker can kick the ball into the all-state hands in the net.
It's the 4-point shot. We're getting to that realm.
Well, I think to kind of take it a little bit further than that, I think you should get an extra point on kickoffs. So the touchback rule has made it where you want to like put it in like the corner and not even get close to the end zone. With the new touchback rules in the NFL, I think what they should do is make it where if you can kick it through the uprights on the kickoff, that's an extra point. So you're kind of playing with fire a little bit, right? Where if you make it, you get a point. If you miss it, the other team starts on like the 35, and they're 1 first down, 2 first downs away from being in field goal range themselves. I think that would be a fun little caveat.
Well, I'm speaking as a sports capper here on this aspect. Y'all need to leave the sports system alone.
As a capper,
it's hard enough as it is. I don't need you adding points, taking points away.
That would change how we look at hooks and everything. The whole 6 no longer. There's no longer key numbers.
Keep me up for another 3 hours.
Hey, but that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
No,
on a kickoff, if you can kick it through the uprights, that's a point. But if you don't, the other team starts on like the 35.
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine how
that'd be fun. That'd be fun. No. I like it. I like what Tim said. I'm taking it a step further. I'm making it even more complicated.
You're crazy,
Tim. All right, we're gonna head on to the phone lines. We've got Reggie on line 1. Morning, Reggie. How we doing?
What's going on, Chinatown Jack? How are you feeling this year so far, sir?
Feeling good. I'm excited for the football season to start.
Well, what's going on with Union and your schedule this year and a follow-up, if I may?
Yeah, of course. Union kicks off their season on Friday. We've actually got our sidetracked episode this week. It's about a 40-minute sit-down with Dr. Alvin Parker as they're getting set for Lenore Ryan, and then I'll be doing all home games this year. Fun little solo booth up there. Hopefully, I won't get as mad as I did last year. I read you about all the penalties and stuff on that final play where there was holding, not holding, everything. If you remember, you remember. But I'll be doing all the games solo this year up in Virginia Union. Excited for it, all their home games. They kick off on Friday.
Yeah, being first and 5 on the 5 yard line and up to be 4th and 40. I mean, come on, unbelievable. Yeah, we're thinking about Michael Robinson.
Yep.
Do you guys think eventually that he might be in the booth calling games on Sundays? Because I think that's a great job.
Maybe. I think it's, likely he's with NFL Network now. So I don't know if he likes it.
14 years.
Yeah, I don't know if he just enjoys the studio work because it does take a different type of guy to be in booth compared to studio. And he's able to come home to Richmond, fly out to LA to do the shows. I think he's got a pretty nice schedule set up. But look, we're trying to get Michael Robinson to come on Sidetrack. I've been emailing with him. Maybe by talking it out loud, I can manifest it actually happening. Look, Reggie, if I get him to sit down for Sidetrack, if I'm able to align our schedules, then I'll ask him that. I'll see if he has any plans of heading into the booth anytime soon.
Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much for calling in, Reggie. Have a great rest of your Monday. He kind of showed my hand a little bit. We'll be having a special Thursday edition of Sidetrack this week because I want to air it before the LR game. Virginia Union plays Lenoir-Rhyne down at Lenoir-Rhyne to kick off the season on Friday. So Thursday, we'll have our sit-down conversation with Dr. Alvin Parker, the head football coach for Virginia Union, as Union looks to reclaim its title in the CIAA. They've got some high expectations, some high hopes down there on Lombardi Street. So Dr. Alvin Parker is our guest this week for Sidetracked. That'll be in the 9 a.m. hour of Thursday show. Really good 40-minute sit down with him. Really appreciate him taking some time. That'll be, I believe, episode 6 of Sidetracked, if my math is correct. All right, we'll get a quick break in. Step aside our 4-a-days high school football previews. Dinwiddie, Hanover, King William, Henrico are our 4 schools today. That's coming up on the other side.
You're listening to Fitz the Bill. Don't touch that dial.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast 10 a.m. to noon every Saturday on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by the Racing Biz.
Looking for a great spot to stop by for great food and cold beverages? Make Shepherd Street Tavern your new go-to destination. Frosty craft beers on tap and tavern-style menu specialties such as specialty deviled eggs, barbecued tofu bites, and our signature Devil's Triangle hot chicken sandwich. Now under new management with the same laid-back vibe indoors or outside on the patio. Shepherd Street Tavern is located at 2922 Park Avenue in the Museum District. Check shepherdstreettrva.com for the latest specials and happy hour prices.
This is advertising material. They offered you a settlement. Sounds good, right? Wrong. They're counting on you not knowing what your case is really worth. They're betting you'll take pennies on the dollar because you're scared and overwhelmed. Don't fall for it. Alexander Schnarr Trial Attorneys has recovered over $2 billion by going to war with insurance companies that try this every single day. Call 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Free consultation. You pay nothing unless they win. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George's licensed attorney in Virginia. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510.
If you want to talk Braves baseball,
here comes some late night dynamite here at Truist Park.
There is only one place in town to turn for all the action. 106.1 ESPN, bringing you nonstop Braves action all season long.
Behind the deep to left field, that's a long gone daddy.
Presented by our friends at Park and Go. No national voices, no syndicated takes, just Richmond's own morning sports talk. Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Dinwiddie High School here at 804 High School Football Media Day. We've got Kavion Pitchford, a offensive lineman, defensive lineman, Bryce Street, defensive back, wide receiver, and Coach Mills joining us here from Dinwiddie. Coach, I want to start with your thoughts, your expectations heading into the 2026 season.
Oh, we're excited. It's been a great offseason. These guys have worked very hard. These two guys next to me, bragging on them, Kavion and Bryce, they haven't missed a workout in 2 years. And played 3 sports and have a 3.0 GPA. So, I've got two really good representatives of our expectations of Dinwiddie football sitting right beside me, so I'm real proud of them.
With it being wide receiver, DB for you, the skill positions, how are those coming along here in the offseason?
It's going good. I feel like at the wide receiver room, we got to focus on details, like releases, like I said, just details, knowing what to do, knowing our routes, knowing the play, taking out like the busts and stuff. And I feel like the DB room and the secondary to me looks really, really great. We all on the same page. We all play a good role. That's how I feel.
Coach, when we talk about the 2026 Dinwiddie squad, what's going to be the identity of this team?
Well, they're going to be young. I mean, at certain spots, but I think there's still a lot of practices, a lot of experience need to be had. But I think right now, if you said what is this team about, I think it starts with defense, which is something that we want to always be starting with. I'm really excited about our defense, and then our special teams. Really love our kickers. And Coach Macello is the best special teams coordinator in the state, bar none. If you ask me, and then our offense has got talent. We're going to be very young at quarterback, but we got some talent around them. I think we got a really strong running back room, and like Bryce said, our receivers are getting better every day, and are going to be able to alleviate some of that pressure on the box and make good catches and keep the chains moving. We will have a freshman at quarterback, but he is a very talented freshman. So I mean, it's just going to be, we can't put it all in his lap right away. We're going to have to kind of, find out what he's comfortable with and support him with talent around him. And we're excited about what we're going to be able to do.
How do you define success for this upcoming season? What is a successful season for you guys?
Well, with success, I mean, we have a standard always. I mean, we've had 19 straight winning seasons. So, I mean, that's the expectation. Wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, we went 11-1 last year. And, I had some people tell me, sorry about the season. So when I got there, they hadn't won but 4 games in 5 years. So I think it's came a long, long way. But that's what I wanted when I got here, is for that kind of expectation to be present. So I mean, they're expecting championship or bust. So my process and all that is I can't let these guys think about any of that, because none of that matters unless they do the day-to-day, the little things, the process, the work that makes them better each day they walk out there. And that's been our focus, is have a growth mindset and, come out there and get better every day. And, we'll let the chips fall where they may.
Awesome. Coach, guys, really appreciate your time. Good luck this upcoming season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Rolling along here, Fitz the Bill at ESPN Richmond, Hanover High School head coach, Coach Rogers. Coach, how we doing? How we feeling at 804 High School Football Media Day?
I love it, and thank you guys so much for what you guys do. Seriously, it's fun to have buzz around high school football. So I can't thank y'all enough for kind of bringing that to these players and to these guys. That's good.
Thank you guys for playing good football. Thank you guys for giving a product that's fun to watch, that's fun to talk about. We were just talking Hanover-Atlee last season was fun. Any big games that you got circled on the calendar this year? I know probably as a coach you're going to say every game you're going to go 1-0 every week, but I always got to tee it up.
Yeah, sweet. So here's the big one that we're really focused on, and you can write this in all the headlines.
If you say week 1.
So, no, it's not. I'm not going to say week 1. I'm going to say Monacan, who we play week 1. So that's the one that I would go
I knew
with.
it. I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I set myself
Yeah.
up for that one.
No.
I honestly thought you were going to say, like, your inter-squad scrimmage that you've got.
Honestly, if I'm being really honest with you, we don't start practice till Monday, so it's probably this afternoon's workout is what we're most focused on right now, which we're really excited about. Probably my dad, my brother, we're really competitive, and honestly, my mom is more competitive than people realize. I also have a sister who's highly competitive, just competitive family. Yeah. So,
looking ahead to the season, I won't ask about it in terms of a
Sweet.
week by week
Thank you.
setup.
Thank you, 'cause I'm not going to answer.
But expectations. I know
Yeah.
that's also a broad question, and it's August 4th. You don't start practice until Monday. But from a expectations perspective, how do you hope you guys attack week 1 against Monacan?
Yeah, what I was talking earlier about is I hope when people come watch us play, they see the way that we play. So what I mean is the way that we approach the field. I hope they see that when we get a break from the sidelines, we sprint to the hash. Hope they see that when we break the huddle, we sprint to the line of scrimmage. Hope they don't see any hands on hips. They don't see people bending over. I hope they see us shoulder to shoulder on the sidelines when we are not getting coaching from a coach. I hope they see those kind of things. The scheme, all that stuff, is a byproduct of the values that we pursue. So I hope they see the way that we play. I hope that pops off to them.
What were some of the things you guys focused in on this offseason heading into the year?
Every year it's execution. How can you execute at a higher level? So as coaches, you're trying to figure out how can we simplify so that we can execute. It's like this principle of simplify so you can multiply, right? So you're trying to figure out, where was I not clear as a coach? What caused people to think more than they should have so they can just lock in on their keys? And I think what's a benefit to our coaching staff is that we leave everything on the table, meaning like we will do anything. We will run anything offensively. We will run anything defensively. There's nothing that we're stubborn about with that. So that's what we're focused on, is always just executing at a higher level and challenging traditional ways.
How many starters do you guys have back this season?
I don't know.
It's always a fun question.
I know. I don't.
So
we got great ones coming.
Great ones coming. And then looking at the season, I have a feeling you're going to answer this and just like list off 22 names with the question I'm about to ask.
All right.
But I'm still going to ask you this question.
Go for it.
Players that are going to make headlines this upcoming season for Hanover.
These three. Yeah, they're great leaders for us. They're great people. They're fun to be around. Like, I enjoy spending time with them. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Do y'all enjoy spending time with me? Is that fun? All right, thanks. Yeah, Caden Hughes.
Good
right
answer.
here.
Good answer.
Caden Hughes, I said this over there, but he doesn't lose one-on-one situations. He's highly, highly competitive. We actually stopped playing coaches versus players basketball because he swatted me like 3 times, and I was just sick of it. I couldn't look my wife in the eyes after that. So that was because of Caden Hughes. Joel Nicholson is the most accurate quarterback that Hanover's ever had, and I know I played quarterback at Hanover, but he is the most accurate. Great person, great leader, great family. Love being around him. Then Lane Ziglock is the model person on and off the field. He's been starting since his freshman year. His freshman year, he had 40 tackles, 4 interceptions when he was 140 pounds. Now he's 185 pounds. He'll play both ways. These guys are great leaders for us, and we have people like that all across the board that are just great, great people. And our goal every year is to become more aligned to our mission and our values than we were the year before. If we're doing that, then we're doing a good thing.
Awesome. Coach, great mic drop. Great way to finish it out. Good luck this season. Have fun the rest of 804 Media Day.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks.
106.1 ESPN Richmond, Fitz the Bill, rolling right along here at 804 High School Football Media Days. We now go on over to King William. We've got Tyler Newell, wide receiver, cornerback, Kayshawn Hill, and Scott Moore. How you guys doing today? I want to start with you, Tyler. How you doing? How's 804 High School Football Media Day for you?
It's been good,
And for you, Kayshawn, I'm pronouncing that right, Kayshawn?
Yeah, it's going all good.
Yeah. And, Coach, how's 804 High School Football Media Day for you guys?
It's been great. I appreciate them having us out here and what they do for football and high school athletics in general. But, yeah, it's a great experience.
Coach, I want to start with you. Expectations for 2026. How you guys feeling?
You know, I always want to be relevant and part of the picture when we get down towards the end of the team and be able to, talk about playoffs and things like that. I believe that, since I came to King William, I want to make sure that we're there. And, we just want to focus on playing, one game at a time to make that a reality. But I am very excited about it. I've got, as I've been telling people, we're a sophomore-laden team last year. This year, all those sophomores are juniors and all those juniors are seniors. And, they've got a year of experience under their belt. And, we made the playoffs last year. So we're very, very excited about what's coming back and can't wait to get started playing.
And, Coach, how do you build on that? With that experience, with that playoff experience, how do you guys build on it for 26?
Well, one of the things I always looked at last year, I think a little bit of we were hurt by our age, not just physically because we were smaller. The guys have all grown. The guys have been in the weight room getting stronger. But, when you're 15 years old and you're out there playing, some kids 17, 18 years old, little things that happen tend to turn into big things. But we're past that. We're now the 16, 17-year-olds that are more mature, better able to handle that, better able to move on from small mistakes. And not just move on, but we want to be able to eliminate those small mistakes that plagued us. But when those things do happen, because they will, because it's football, because nothing ever works out perfectly, you've always got to be able to adjust and improvise. I think we're going to be better able to do that and handle those pressure situations.
I love it. Kayshawn here, being the quarterback, being one of the leaders of this team, juniors, seniors for you guys, a little bit more experience. What does that kind of feel like from your perspective, from a player's perspective, being on a more experienced team?
Being on a more experienced team is like, for the younger guys that's coming up, we got to be more so leaders and just be a big role in how they come up. Just show them the ways of how we play Cavalier football and going along everything.
Tyler, going into this season, what do you guys hope that your identity will be?
Win. We really want to win.
How do you make sure you win?
Staying together, staying gelled as a team, really not getting down on ourselves, keep playing, fighting through every injury. Yeah.
And both of you guys both play on the offense and defensive side of the ball, so you bring a little bit of an interesting perspective here. Tyler, first, I want to ask you, up to this point, who's been winning the offseason, the offense or the defense? I feel like it's an unbiased perspective since you guys both are on both sides of the ball.
I'd say for the first 2 weeks, I feel like it's really been the defense. The defense been flying around, communicating, talking.
Okay, Sean, would you agree with that?
Really, I'd say offense has it, if I'm being honest with you. We got little guys coming up, but we put the plays in, everybody gets it right off the bat with no problem.
Coach, you are the I feel like the unbiased perspective through it all. So I'm going to come to you for the final ruling.
I just want to add that we're a small school, so we do have a lot of guys going both ways. So it's the same guys on each side of the ball. I am an offensive coach, so I don't know. I want to be as unbiased as possible, but I do see what Kayshawn is talking about. We've got some young guys that are more comfortable in the system than they ever have been before. But Ty is right. They're communicating. They're flying around, and I love seeing it on both sides of the ball. Defensively, there's a period of Indy where these guys are just running. It's like constant movement for an hour. So anyway, some of our conditioning gets taken care of in practice because they're moving so much. So anyway, I don't know if I answered your question, but I told you what I thought.
Hey, I love it. I love it, guys. Good luck this upcoming season. Really appreciate your time.
All right,
enjoy the rest
I
of it.
appreciate it.
Here at 804 High School Football Media Day, ESPN Richmond Fitz the Bill, rolling right along. We're joined now with Henrico head coach Rashad Harris. We've also got Jalen Wilson, wide receiver for Henrico, Jaden Smith, defensive end, linebacker for Henrico as well. I'm going to start with you guys. Jalen first, offensively for this team, what should we be expecting out of Henrico in 2026?
We're going to be very fast and explosive, and we're going to be very disciplined.
Defensively, Jaden. DN, linebacker, you get a little bit of both.
Yes, sir.
What should we expect out of the defense for you guys this year?
Fast, physical, and dangerous, sir. Yep.
Who's been winning off-season so far, practices so far between the offense and the defense?
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say offense on that one. We taking the W.
Is that true? Is that true?
We battle it out. We go back and forth battling it out. I wouldn't say offense wins majority of the reps, though.
I think I can go to the official scorekeeper of it all, Coach. Yeah. Defense, offense, who's been winning practice so
I'm going to be in the middle with it. It's in the middle. We go 50-50 because we battle it out every day, and it's great high competition daily, and the guys give it all they got every day. So we're in the middle.
Coach, what's the identity of this team in 2026 going to be?
We're going to be fast. That's going to think we're going to be explosive. That's the main thing. We're going to be explosive. We're going to have some fun, but the main identity is we're going to be fast here at Henrico High School. We're going to play fast.
Is this year one for you?
Yes, this is year one for me.
How has that transition into head coaching role been?
So I've been at Henrico High School working in the building for 6 years, so I've been around the guys, but transition on the football field is kind of like cherry on top, honestly. The guys are bought in. They see me around campus, so they're already bought into what I'm bringing daily. So this was just like the cherry on top here at Henrico High School, just on the football tip. This is what the guys do. This is what we do, and they've bought in since day one.
Fast, physical seems like the words you guys have been using. Is that how you would describe your coaching style?
Yes, my coaching style mainly is off a relationship and making sure we're doing the right thing, but it transitions to the football field to making sure they play at a fast level because I get everything out of them because of the relationship aspect of things, and I push them past 100%, past expectation that they think they can go.
Coach, when it's the end of the season, we look back on it. How would you define success for Henrico in 26?
Being disciplined, trusting the process, and being in the win column. That's the big thing. Being in the win column, I would say that's a success, but making sure my guys have a great time on the football field. They've gone through a lot, but I want to make sure at the end of the day they have a great experience here for Henrico High School football.
I love it. Coach, guys, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this upcoming season. Look forward to seeing how year one goes.
Thank you.
Bon Air Shell is family owned and operated and has been serving the Richmond community for over 20 years. At Bon Air Shell, you'll find old school service with modern day technology, and our certified technicians will get you back on the road in no time. Stop by for a quick fill up, shop for new tires, ask us about a check engine light, or let us help with any of your auto service needs. Find us at 8762 Huguenot Road near the historic Bon Air section of Southside and online at bonAirShell.com.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN, presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Jerry Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races, each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's Best Kept Secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Richmond wanted local sports talk in the morning, and we Fitz the Bill. Back now on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Oh, another free one. Thanks, dog. You always hook me up.
Another hour of fun stuff like that.
Another one of your nonsensical rambling stories.
Another peep. Okay, all right, here's another one.
Another thing before we get up on out of here on this Monday morning with Fitz the Bill, and this is one of my big brain things. Maybe this is nothing, maybe it's something. But have you noticed all of the sales that have been happening in the NBA? There have been a lot of owners selling their stakes in NBA teams over the last, over the last month, but really over the last 12 to 24 months. So is this showing that there's some trouble brewing underneath the surface in the association? Because when news broke that Mark Lowry sold his controlling stake in the Timberwolves at a $4.5 billion valuation, I had that thought. Is there trouble brewing in the NBA? Because this is, of course, on the heels of the Lakers sale, then resell, then the Buss family drama. There was the Trailblazers sale recently as well, although that was under a slightly different set of circumstances. But if you look across the league over the last 3 years or so, Michael Jordan sold his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets. Mark Cuban sold 70% of the Dallas Mavericks to the Dumont Adelson families. That was back in December of 2023, $3.5 billion. Lori and Alex Rodriguez completed their purchase of the Timberwolves and Lynx from Glenn Taylor in 2025. Now, Lori just sold his controlling stake last week. The Celtics have been sold. The Lakers were sold to Mark Walter and the group that owns the Dodgers for a record $10 billion in June of 2025. Now they're in the process of being sold to Bob Iger and Josh Kushner. We saw the Trailblazers get sold. That was because Paul Allen, he passed away and his estate had to sell. And then just outside the last 3 years, the Phoenix Suns were up for sale, and Matt Ishbia bought into the NBA by purchasing the Suns. Although Matt Ishbia, he's under a little bit of a scrutiny as well because he may not be able to make his payments. It's a whole confusing thing. But that's just the big name sales. That's just the sales of majority and controlling ownership. There have been plenty of minority stake sales and moves over the last 3 or so years too. And Alan, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm doing too much big brain stuff with this. I may be reading way too much into it, but is something happening in the NBA?
Like not that I know of. Other than I just think people see value in and just making a profit, right? Like you're the right. Dodgers guy, you can't blame him. Like he literally flipped like $2 billion.
Yeah, you're right. It's just crazy, and it might just be the types of owners that the NBA is now bringing in over the last couple of years. But it's just so interesting to me that within a year of the Timberwolves sale going through, one of the owners is now selling his stake. Within a year of Mark Walters and the Lakers sale, he's then selling his stake. It's just such a quick flip. And this is on the heels of an era of NBA ownership where I felt like we never heard about ownership sales. Like there was never a lot of movement in terms of who the owner was. Like MJ buying the Hornets was the big one. And there wasn't really a lot other than that. You'd have it every couple of years. In the last year, we've had four major sales with three of them featuring iconic dynasties with the Lakers and the Celtics. Normally a sale happened when somebody died. Now it just feels like people are trying to invest in quick flip like private equity. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. Maybe there's something percolating underneath the surface because this is happening right before the NBA is about to sell two expansion teams, one assumed in Vegas, one assumed in Seattle.
Well, even the situation with the Dodgers or the Lakers buyers, they were trying to bid on the expansion team and like, wait, we can get an established franchise like the Lakers for cheaper. I mean, again, I think that's the one-off situation where it just made business sense for the seller and the buyer. Yeah. But the other folks, not everybody's invested in this idea of owning a team for the sake of owning a team. It's just the way to make money for people.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I'm not reading too much into it NBA wise. I think the NFL and Major League Baseball is a little different as far as their ownership group and the people who own those teams. But like the NBA just seems kind of one of those situations where nobody's truly personally invested except for the Buss family. Everybody else is just kind of here to make a profit. If I can flip it, I can flip it. The Mark Cuban thing was surprising.
That was weird.
But also, he regrets it. So it's like, well, yeah, but like I never took Jordan serious as an NBA owner. I just thought it was a way for him to make money, just like pretty much everybody else, except for like Dolan.
Yeah,
Dolan is probably somebody that
he loves.
He's in it because the Knicks are his team,
and he also owns MSG, and like this is his primary source of income. Yeah. It's just, I guess, my Windhorse fingers. Where you're right, it probably is more so the fact that people are now using team ownership as a means of investment because your ROI on it is so quick. Like you said, within 2 years, Mark Walters went from being $10 billion owner or whatever, and he resold it for $12 billion. That's a $2 billion profit.
Yeah, you can't turn that. Can't turn that down.
And something I always say, we as humans cannot comprehend the word billion, the number billion, and he has two of those. That's something we just cannot.
People
comprehend.
Can't make $1 billion in your lifetime. You make two in a year.
In a year, because you just happen to own. Man, money is such a frustrating thing. If I had $10 billion, I could have told you that's a great investment. But no, I'm not allowed to make, even though they're whatever. I could have a whole rant on money and how it's all stupid and fake, but I digress. Just, I wonder if this has to do with any of the issues the NBA is facing as well in the WNBA, where they don't have a cohesive group of owners like the NFL does, like the MLB does. They have this more transient, sorry, they don't call them owners, they call them governors, a more transient set of governors. I wonder if that has anything to do with some of the issues the NBA is seeing in terms of Adam Silver calling it a highlight league and kind of the other things, officiating, things like that.
They just had this crazy TV deal, and ESPN is still backing them 1,000%.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime is buying games and things like that. So it's not like I would be shocked if somebody tried to tell me the NBA is like operating at a loss.
Yeah.
Like they can't possibly be operating at a loss. Even if we don't always care for the product that's on the court, it's still a popular sport, and it doesn't have any direct competition when it's in season for the most part. So
I'm just putting my windy fingers up. They got 2 expansion teams coming in, and yet they've had 3-4 major sales happen in the last 12 to 24 months. Just something you don't see in a lot of other sports. Could be nothing. Could be something.
Would you buy a team in Vegas? That's a lot of money.
I'd buy a team in Seattle. Bring back the Supersonics. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that'll do it for Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning. Keep it locked right here because we are where Richmond talks sports. No Braves baseball today. We are back live and local at 4 p.m. with the mid-major match show. We've got the Golix next, the Rich Eisen show following that. So stay right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Our 4-a-days will continue tomorrow in hour number 2. Plus Scott Jackson down there in the 757. He'll join us at 9 a.m. tomorrow to chat a little ODU football as we continue previewing the Virginia schools. That's all tomorrow. Keep it locked. We are where Richmond talks sports. Talk to you then.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year.